What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Malted Man Cave. And tonight we have something special for you. We have the Highland Park 18. Highland Park is distilled in Kirkwell on the Orkney Islands in Scotland. It is at 43% ABV, and unfortunately, it's a little bit chill filtered, but it is not colored. It used to be, but I don't believe it is anymore. Actually, I'm positive it's not anymore. Highland Park is actually the most northerly distillery in Scotland. It's just slightly above Scapa. And it's so far north, it actually is very, very close to Scandinavia. Which leads me to my next fun fact about Highland Park, which is that Highland Park was allegedly, sometimes it's kind of a race for who's the oldest distillery, and they want to have all this rich heritage. Sometimes we don't always know. Record books can be sketchy, but anyways, allegedly in 1798, Magnus Jonsson started the distillery and actually was distilling the spirits in a local bothy. And another fun fact about Magnus, he was kind of a shrewd, wise cat. He was actually trying to avoid the excise men, and actually he hid his whiskey at the local church, actually underneath the pulpit. Which is actually genius. I mean, I'm sure that's the last place they thought to look. And he was just being a very pious, devout Christian. He just wanted the angels to have their angel share, you know? So he's a good guy. What else about Highland Park? Highland Park, as I mentioned before in my Highland Park 12 video with my buddy Dave, is one of, I think, 7 other distilleries that have their own traditional floor maltings. They actually use about 20% in all of their whiskeys. They use 20% of the peated whiskey from their traditional floor maltings, and then they take 80% unpeated whiskey, probably from mainland Scotland, that they put into their whiskey. So it's 20% peated and 80% unpeated. I believe that I read the peat is at 20 ppm, so per million phenol levels. What else? Oh, last but not least, and I'm not sure if this is true. I did a little reading and I heard a couple rumors. Is obviously, you know, in Orkney the peat is a little different than in Islay. It doesn't quite have as much of that briny, you know, rich characteristic that Islay has. It's more known for just this heathered honey, like sweet, as much as it can be for vegetal decomposed, decomposed matter. But I heard that they actually take that already heavily heathered honeyed peat, and they actually take real heather and they put it on top just to make frickin' sure that they get that traditional Highland Park heather honeyed flavor. I don't know if that's true. If you guys know for sure, leave me a comment, let me know. Just want to tell you a little rumor that I heard, which I thought was pretty crazy. But hey, whatever they're doing, it works. Anything else? You know, guys, I think that's it. So enough blabbering. Let's get on to tasting some whiskey. You guys want to see something failed? A failed Keith Clark moment? So I ordered on Amazon this amazing map, this poster that I thought of the Scotland and the Scotland distilleries. I thought it was going to be about this big. Apparently it said centimeters and not inches, like I thought. So, fail for Keith. Amazon 1, Keith 0. This is pretty much a richer, more sherried, creamy, rounder, more refined version of the 12, the Highland Park 12. So if you like the Highland Park 12, you're gonna love the Highland Park 18. Slight hints of chocolate, bitter chocolate, not milk chocolate, but bitter, kind of dark chocolate. Vanilla and honey, obviously, the heathered honey, which they made sure got in there. Salty toffee and cream, again, as I got with the Highland Park 12. pears and honeydew melon, barley sugar. I know it's a very generic and cliche, but I get it. Barley sugar and that malty goodness. And last but not least, of course, that mild peat, that honeyed heather peat. Time for the palate. If anybody knows a good website where I can find a better version of the Scotland distilleries, please let me know. Leave it in the comments. Again, honeyed smoke, and as I got with the 12, just this amazing salty honeyed ham note. If I could get that with every sherry whiskey that I have, I would be a happy man. It's absolutely fantastic. Salty, rich, honeyed ham. Excuse me. Salted chocolate caramels, spun honey on some kind of pastry or toast, chocolate covered raisins, almost a strawberry and raspberry compote with a little bit of marzipan. Just, guys, this is a great whiskey. There's a reason that this at one point was voted by not just one person, but several entities and people saying this is one of the best single malts out there. There's a reason. It's fantastic stuff. But I can only imagine, and I know I get on my tangents, and sometimes I go overboard and I watch my videos. I'm like, Keith, just shut the frick up about the ABV and the chill filtering. But this would probably take the cake over any other whiskey in the world. If this, as it already has, I can only imagine how much more Highland Park would just, they'd never relinquish that #1 spot. If they made the Highland Park 18 at like cask strength, non-chill filtered, it'd be game over. Set, match. No one could compete. Highland Park 18 at cask strength with non-chill filtering, game over. And I love Springbank 12 cask strength, and right now that and Glenrock 15 are two favorite whiskeys. This might surpass them if it was at cask strength and non-chill filtered. But I digress. I'm not going to say it anymore, okay? Highland Park, please. Cask strength, non-chill filtered. The finish is very medium. It's very good, very honeyed smoke. A little tinge of that honeyed, salty honey ham again. Slight caramel. Maybe a little hint of that chocolate again. Pretty much everything you get on the nose and on the palate. But it's just gone. It's there and it's gone. It's almost anemic. It just tastes kind of watered down. I mean, it's fantastic, but it's just kind of watered down. It just would be so much better. Just if it's already a creamy dram. I mean, this would be like you're just sipping down on cream if it was just non-chill filtered and a higher ABV, guys. So even with all that negativity I'm spouting off at, bloviating at the end of this, it's still a 93 out of 100. Just imagine. So anybody know anything about whether that heather is actually added into the peat? Leave a comment. Let me know any other fun facts about Highland Park 18 or just Highland Park in general. Like, subscribe, dislike, unsubscribe. I do this just because I love whiskey and I have fun. And I like to watch myself and show my family and my coworkers, and they laugh at me, especially when I try to dance to music videos. But it's been fun. It's been fun hanging out. Hope to see you guys soon. Let's launch it.